Hello and welcome back. Today, we're going to be tackling something that, well, I think a lot of you have been asking about. It's that moment in a job interview, that high stakes moment.
Welcome. And we're really narrowing our focus today. We're looking at the research, at the strategy behind answering what is, I think we can agree, the single most intimidating question you can get from a hiring manager.
Oh, I know exactly what it is. It's the one that feels like it should be the easiest question in the world, but your mind just goes completely blank.
It does. It freezes people.
Yeah.
We are talking about that infamous open-ended prompt. Tell me about yourself.
It's just so big, it feels huge. And it doesn't matter if you're interviewing for a job in New York or London or even just a remote position from home.
The pressure is universal.
Yeah, you feel like you have to somehow summarize your entire life and career in, 60 seconds? It's impossible.
And that feeling of panic, that's exactly why so many candidates get this wrong. They fail because they just start talking.
They ramble.
They ramble, they share things that have absolutely nothing to do with the job, and most importantly, they waste the manager's time.
I do get that urge, though. You want to seem friendly, relatable, you want to tell your story. But the sources we looked at are really clear about the hiring manager's goal.
Right, and their goal is very, very simple. They need to figure out your professional value, and they need to do it fast.
They don't want your life story.
No, they want a short, professional summary of how you can help their company, how you can solve their problems.
So that's our mission for you today. We're going to break down the secret, really. A structure, a kind of secret formula that takes all that panic away.
A formula that stops you from just dumping information and helps you give a perfect professional answer every single time.
And when the pressure is on like that, having a structure is everything, isn't it? It just gives you something to hold on to.
It's the key. When stakes are high, you absolutely need a simple framework to fall back on. It guides you.
I'm honestly feeling better just knowing a framework exists. So what is it? What's the solution?
The solution is a simple professional structure we call the PPF formula.
P.P.F.
Yes, PPF. It stands for present, past, and future. And what it does is it forces you to be professional and forces you to be concise.
And to focus only on the value you bring to them?
Exactly. It's an organizational tool. It's designed for maximum professional impact right when you need it most.
That structure is so important. I'm thinking especially for our listeners who might be doing these interviews in English as a second language, where any little hesitation, can feel like a weakness. Knowing you have 3 clear steps, present, past, future. That's a huge advantage.
It's the ultimate advantage. It completely removes that moment of panic where you're thinking, oh no, what do I say next? It gives you control.
Okay. But before we get to the perfect answer, I think we need to see just how bad the mistake can be. We need to look at that common pitfall.
A pitfall, yes.
Yeah.
The what we're calling the casual calamity.
The casual calamity. I know this one well. It's when you completely forget where you are. You're in a job interview, but you start talking like you're at a coffee shop with a friend.
It's a total context mismatch. You're treating a high-stakes professional setting like a low-stakes chat.
So let's show everyone what that sounds like. I'll be the candidate, the one who hasn't learned the PPF formula yet. I'm just going to try to be friendly and conversational.
Perfect. And I'll be the hiring manager. I have a very busy schedule, maybe 30 minutes for this interview. I need to know your professional value right away.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, thanks so much for coming in today. Let's get started. Please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I am so happy to be here. Well, I grew up in this really, really small town in Ohio. It was super quiet, and I just moved to the city about a year ago. I'm also Gemini, which means I'm like super flexible and I can adapt to anything, which I think is a really great quality and a team member. And I have a dog, a golden retriever. His name's Max. He is just the cutest thing. On the weekends, I love to go hiking, get outdoors, but mostly I just love to cook. And I have to say, I make really, really good brownies. Like, everyone at my last job begged me to bring them to all the meetings.
Cut. Stop right there.
What's wrong?
Oh.
I was telling you about myself. I was trying to be friendly, build a connection.
You were definitely friendly. And look, those details are charming. But we have to talk about the mismatch here.
The context mismatch.
This is a job interview. Time is a professional resource. It's not a first date.
Right. So I started with my hometown in Ohio, my zodiac sign, my dog Max, all the irrelevant stuff.
You did. And I'm sure Max is a wonderful dog, and I'm sure your brownies are fantastic. But that tells me zero about you as a professional.
But isn't that what makes me me? I thought sharing those things would make me seem more human, more memorable.
And you are memorable, but for all the wrong reasons. It signals a lack of professional judgment. It shows you can't filter information for the setting you're in.
So when an interviewer asks, tell me about yourself, there's an invisible part to that question.
Exactly. The full question is, tell me about yourself that is relevant to this job and this company.
Okay. So the main problem is that I didn't use a professional filter. I just wasted, what, 30, 40 seconds of your time talking about baking and my dog.
Precisely. You wasted the most important opportunity you have. That first answer sets the tone for the entire interview. And when you ramble about personal things, the interviewer is already thinking two things.
What are they?
One, that you lack focus, and two, that you don't really understand professional norms.
So the big takeaway for everyone listening has to be this. Personal details are off limits. No pets, no hobbies, no baking skills, at least not in that first answer.
You have to be laser focused,
Yes, sir.
but professionally focused.
Okay. So now that we've seen the failure, let's talk about the solution. You asked me what I should say instead.
Yes.
I need that structure, the roadmap that makes sure every single word I say is adding professional value.
So we come back to the PPF formula, and I'm going to define this very clearly, very slowly, so everyone listening can really absorb it.
Yes, please. Let's make sure this is crystal clear.
PPF stands for present, past, and future. 3 simple steps. That's it.
Present, past, future.
It's a narrative structure. It's simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It forces you to organize your professional story in a way that is always, always relevant to the job you want.
Okay, let's unpack each one of those. Let's start at the beginning with the first P.
Excellent. We begin with present. This is probably the most important part for grabbing their attention right away.
So what's the instruction? What do I absolutely have to say in the present section?
It's 2 things. First, you briefly state your current role. And second, you immediately follow that with a recent quantifiable win.
A quantifiable win, so a number.
A number, a percentage, a dollar amount, a time saved, something concrete.
Why is that so important to put first? Why not start with where I went to school or my first job?
Because the present is your immediate credibility hook. It uses a psychological principle called recency bias.
Recency bias.
People give more importance to information they've just heard. So by starting with your current role and a recent success, you're signaling that you are not just working, you are succeeding right now.
So it's not just I have a job, it's I am good at my job and here's the proof.
Precisely. That recent win moves you from just a job title, like digital marketing specialist, to actual job performance. It
Right.
shows what you can do.
Okay, let's dig into that a little more, the quantifiable win. What if my job isn't in sales? What if I'm, say, a teacher or a nurse? It's not always about percentages, right?
That's a great question, and it's a really common problem. Quantifiable doesn't only mean money or percent. It can be about scale, efficiency, or time.
Can you give us an example?
Of course. For a teacher, a win could be, I developed a new grading system that reduced assessment time by 15 hours per semester. The number is the 15 hours.
Got it.
Or for a nurse, it could be, I helped redesign our patient check-in process, which cut average wait times in my unit by 12 minutes. The number is the impact.
That's so helpful. So
Yeah.
that number, that 40% or 12 minutes, it also does something else, doesn't it? It sort of anchors their perception of you.
You've hit on another key principle, anchoring bias. The moment you say a specific number, like increased engagement by 40%,
Yeah.
you set a high baseline in their mind.
And that number becomes the standard they judge everything else against.
Exactly. You immediately position yourself as a high performer. It's so much more powerful than saying, I'm a good marketer. You're providing hard evidence.
And this section should be short, just a couple of sentences.
Short, powerful, and data-driven. It sets the stage for everything else.
Okay, so the present is the hook. It uses numbers to prove your current value. Perfect. Let's move to the second P past.
The past. Now, this is where people can easily fall back into just reading their resume out loud. And we have to avoid that.
Right, so it's not a list of every job I've ever had. How do you decide what to include?
The rule is very strict. You mentioned 1, maybe 2, past experiences that are directly relevant to the job you are interviewing for now. We call this the relevance bridge.
The relevance bridge, I like that. So its purpose isn't to give my history, it's to strategically connect my past skills to this future job.
Precisely. You're curating your history. You're handpicking the moments that prove you have the skills they need.
So if I'm applying for a project manager role, I would only mention my old content writer job if it taught me something specific that a project manager needs.
That is the perfect way to filter it. And to do that effectively, You need to use another framework within this section. We call it the CR framework.
CAR. Okay, what does that stand for?
CAR. It stands for challenge, action, and result. When you talk about a past job, you don't list your duties. You tell a mini story.
A problem-solving story.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
start with the challenge you faced. Then you describe the action you took. And you end with a measurable result you achieved.
Okay, so instead of just saying I was a content writer, I'd use CRR.
Yes. For instance, as a content writer, the challenge was that our technical teams couldn't understand our project briefs. The action I took was to create a new, simpler template. And the result was we cut down our revision cycles by 30%.
Wow, that is so much more powerful. It's not just what you did, it's the impact you had.
It gives it depth,
Yeah.
and it proves you have those soft skills companies are looking for, like strong storytelling skills or attention to detail. You're not just saying you have them, you're demonstrating it with a story.
I see now. The past isn't a list. It's the proof. It's showing them how you develop the skills that they need you to have tomorrow.
It shows your growth. It answers the question they haven't even asked yet. How did you get so good at this?
What about a tricky situation? Like if someone has a gap in their resume, or maybe their last job wasn't that relevant.
That's where the CIR framework is so useful. You can frame any experience. If you have a gap, you focus on skills you gained. Maybe you took a course or did volunteer work.
So the challenge was learning a new skill.
Exactly. The action was completing the certification. The result is that you now have the technical skills this job requires. You frame everything as a strategic step in your career.
Okay, that makes sense. So this section should be a bit longer.
A bit. Maybe 30 to 40 seconds. Enough for a strong car story.
Great. So that brings us to the final piece of the formula, F for future.
The future. This is your big finish. This is where you connect everything directly to them.
And the instruction here is to explain why you want this specific job, right? And how you fit with their company.
Alignment. That is the key word. The future is your motivational close. It shifts the focus from what I've done to what I want to do here.
This is where you prove you've done your homework.
100%. The manager have to believe your application was intentional, that you chose them for a reason, not just because you were applying to 100 jobs.
So a bad answer would be something like, I'm looking for a new challenge and more money.
A complete failure. It's generic, and it's all about you. You have to link your ambition to their needs. You need to say something like, I'm looking to move from managing small campaigns to leading major global projects.
Which is why I'm so excited about your company's plan to expand into Europe next year.
Perfect. That small change from a self-focused statement to a company-focused one is everything. It tells them you see a future for yourself with them.
And I imagine the tone and language you use for the future part has to change depending on the company, right?
Absolutely. You have to tailor it to their culture.
So how would you tailor the future for, say, a very traditional conservative bank versus a cool, creative startup?
Great question. For the conservative bank, your future would emphasize stability, risk, and compliance. You'd say something like, I want to apply my attention to detail to ensure your firm maintains its reputation for security.
Very measured, very safe.
Exactly. And for the creative startup,
You'd emphasize growth, speed, innovation.
you've got it. You'd say, I'm excited to join a fast-paced team where I can help scale new ideas and contribute to your aggressive growth targets. You mirror their language and their values.
That's such a key distinction. The PPF structure is the skeleton, but the words you use have to fit the body of the company.
It creates a complete, compelling story about your value and your intention.
Yeah.
That is the full power of the PPF formula.
Okay, I feel ready. I really think I understand it now. The numbers, the car story, the alignment.
Good. So let's do the role play one more time. But now, you use the formula. And remember our pacing. Speak slowly, clearly. Focus only on professional value.
I will. I'm going to try to hit all three parts.
I'm the hiring manager again. I'm waiting for that concise professional answer. So, please tell me about yourself.
Well, currently I work as a digital marketing specialist at a high-growth tech startup.
Very clear start. I like it.
In my role, I manage the content strategy, and I recently ran a social media campaign that increased our user engagement by 40%.
Okay, let's just pause on that for a second. That number, 40%, is the anchor. That is the perfect credibility hook. Now, continue at the past.
Before this role, I worked as a content writer for 2 years, and that experience taught me some really essential skills.
Okay, give me the car story.
We face the challenge of making very complex technical information easy for our customers to understand. My action was to develop a new series of simple visual guides, and the result was that I developed very strong storytelling skills and a real attention to detail.
Excellent. That's the relevance bridge. You've proven you have the communication skills needed for a bigger role. Now bring it home with the future.
And now I'm looking to move into a project manager role where I can shift from executing campaigns to leading strategy. I am so excited about this specific opportunity because your company needs strong leaders for its new distribution initiative, and I want to be on the team that makes that a success.
Boom. You're hired.
That felt so much better. It felt controlled. I knew exactly what I was going to say next, and I knew every sentence was building my case.
It was professional, it was concise, and it was focused completely on your value. Let's quickly break down for everyone why that answer worked so well.
Yes, let's analyze the success.
Okay, first, the present. It was perfect.
Yeah.
You used that concrete number, 40%. That's the anchor we talked about. It's undeniable proof of your impact.
And there was no mention of Ohio or my dog Max.
No wasted time. It was professional from the first word. Then you moved to the past. You used the SCIAR framework perfectly. You didn't just say you were a content writer.
I linked it to the skills needed for this new job. Storytelling, attention to detail.
Exactly. You showed how your past experience prepared you for this role. It wasn't just a history lesson. It was proof of your competence.
And then the finish? The future.
Your future was so strong because you showed targeted alignment. You didn't just say, I want to be a project manager.
I said I wanted to lead their new distribution initiative.
And that detail is everything. It shows you've done your research. It tells the hiring manager, I chose you. It suggests you're going to be a committed employee.
It just makes preparing for this question so much easier. That feeling of panic is gone because you have a plan. You have a pitch.
Preparation eliminates panic. Now, there's one last advanced tip we should touch on. This formula is flexible.
Oh, interesting. What do you mean?
Well, you might need a shorter version for a quick phone screen versus a longer final round interview.
Right. A recruiter on the phone might only give you 30 seconds.
Exactly. The P.P.F formula is scalable. For that 30-second phone screen, you just condense the past.
So it would be present with the big win and then jump right to the future and the alignment.
Almost. You'd keep a reference to the past skill, but drop the long story. You'd say, currently I'm increasing engagement by 40%. My background in content writing gave me great attention to detail, and now I'm ready to lead your new initiative. It's P.P.F, but faster.
And for a longer final interview.
You expand, you tell 2 detailed core stories in the past. You add more detail in the future about the company's goals. But the structure is always the same. Present, past, future.
So PPF is a framework that you can scale up or down depending on the situation.
It's the difference between rambling and delivering a strategic, professional pitch.
This has been incredibly helpful. We've gone way beyond just saying be professional. This is a real blueprint. No more talking about my dog.
You've traded the casual calamity for career success.
Yeah.
So let's do one final recap, a little cheat sheet for everyone listening. We'll go through it slowly one more time.
Perfect. Let's summarize the formula to make sure it sticks.
We are focusing on PPF, present, past, future.
First up, P for present. What's the one thing to remember?
State your current role, plus a recent quantifiable win. Use a number, a percentage, a dollar amount, something concrete to anchor your credibility immediately.
Next, P for past. What's the strategy here?
The past is your relevance bridge. Use the CR framework challenge, action, result. Tell 1 or 2 mini stories that prove you have the skills this new job requires.
And finally, F for future.
The future is all about alignment. Explain why you want this specific job at this specific company. Show them you've done your research and your goals align with their mission.
That structure is really the difference between an uncontrolled story and a powerful professional pitch.
Always remember to filter everything through that lens of relevance and value.
Thank you so much for breaking that down. It makes that huge, scary question feel so much more manageable.
Exactly. Keep it professional. Try writing your own PPF answer today. See you next time.